Hello and welcome, everybody. We are here on Wednesday. It is Rabbit Stew. I am your host, Overlord, and this is on my right.
Hey, I'm Scott. How's it going, guys?
Scott, also known as Alara now. You've got a mini names
Yes.
on the channel now.
I've got Alara, I've got Yor, I've got
You're a
Scott.
sexist dick.
Oh, yes. For 3 hours a week on this channel, I am a sexist dick.
Who's apparently really stupid.
Who's not a bright man.
We did not talk about that ahead of time. Now, guys, so welcome to the show. It's Wednesday,
Yes.
which means it's comic book day. And now moving forward, because it's 2 days after Monday on a show that we're both on, it will also be the day that we recap what happened on Vanquished and what we think about it. And me as the GM knowing what's coming down the line, smiling and not telling Scott anything that's going to happen as we move forward. But we'll talk about stuff and we'll do all sorts of other things. But right off the bat, I want to say, guys, welcome. Thank you for being here today. Like, I miss you guys, kind of. Maybe. Do you miss them?
I do, sometimes.
Yeah?
Most of the time.
I've
They're a lot nicer to me than they are to you.
This is true. But I actually have dreams where I see people telling me things that are wrong with my channel in a chat room. Like, no joke. In my dreams, chat rooms show up. Those fucking wall TV things are in the background and they're scrolling text and people are just like, do better, do better, do better.
Oh, I'm just glad to hear that you're sleeping enough to dream. That's all.
No, REM sleep. I'm like in it in 20 minutes. My most intense dreams are when I get about 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night.
So you just take a
that
quick-
like last 30 minutes. I'm just like,
So you take a quick nap just to have a quick little psychological live chat with yourself and then back to business? Mm-hmm. A day in the life.
yep, day in the life, a day in the very lifeless life. So guys, what is going on? Welcome today. We are going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about what's going on in the rest of the channel today. We're going to talk about what comics come out, but we are going to be cut short today because there is a BattleTech Q&A with the developers of the new BattleTech game that'll be starting around 2 to 2:15.
Yep.
So yeah, Dream Trolls are the worst. That is true. Dream Trolls are the worst. I get trolled in my own dreams by really my own subconscious is trolling myself. God, this is terrible. I'm dream trolled. Yeah, okay, moving on. I don't want to sit and think too much about it or I'm going to start crying on the air. I'm just
Okay,
going to
good.
start
Let's-
breaking down and being like, oh,
Let's
God.
move on. What is going on today on the channel?
Okay, guys, because it's Wednesday, that means after this, we've got Watching Paint Dry with Viking Lass. She's going to be repairing the mechs that were damaged last week on Death from Above as the mechanic of that show. And then after that, we've got Shadowrun Corporate Wars and Shadowrun Corporate Sins. Now, if you don't know the difference between the two, that's okay. I completely understand. It's fine. I forgive you. But Corporate Wars is where you guys in the chat room are fighting against each other in a role-playing metagame that the chat room controls, where you get to make all sorts of different actions against other people in the chat. Now, the last couple weeks have been really intense and shit's been heating up. And we have exciting stuff happening tonight. For one of the CEOs of a corporation flew out here. Flew all the way out here
Wow.
to make an announcement on Corporate Wars tonight. And I have heard in the wind, basically, as it was flying by, the digital wind, basically, as it be, that there has been things in the works. Someone might get hurt tonight
Uh-oh.
on Corporate Wars.
Uh-oh.
I heard of this happening. I laughed out loud and then didn't tell anyone. So I know what's going to happen because I see y'all secretly. I have my fingers in all these different... I sneak around a lot. People don't know it, but like sometimes I'll just like watch their chat rooms at 3 in the morning when I can't sleep and just sneak in. NG Deeren just resubbed for 4 months. 4 months, dude. Thank you.
Wow.
You're like OG now. That is OG. 4 months is seriously. Thank you. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. But
So you've
Corporate
been
Wars,
lurking?
pretty great. Yeah, I lurk all the time. I gotta know. It's the best way for me to learn about the channel in a real way because our audience is so nice.
Yeah.
That when I'm asking for feedback, it's either like people who are complaining about stuff that they have no right to complain about, or people being really, really nice and just like, oh my God, this is great. And then around 2 or 3 in the morning when they don't think I'm there is when they honestly start talking in a constructive way, not just saying like, oh, this is great, or oh, fuck this, I'm out. Meh. It's more like, oh, this was really cool, but I kind of wish there was more of this, or I really like this when this happened, and I wish there was more of that. That's when like the best conversations usually happen, when they don't know I'm there watching them. I'm always watching. always watching them.
Observing an event changes the outcome of it.
Yes, very true. Guys,
Hey, Claudia's in the chat.
hey, what's up, Claudia? Saying
on.
people are way too nice here. She's way too nice, and I've been trying to train her otherwise. So, guys, I also have here with me a sub, okay? I am extremely hungry. I've not eaten since about 6 p.m. yesterday, and I would love to dive into this sub right here, but I will not allow myself to until we get a new subscriber. So, sub for a sub.
Ooh.
Not going to eat it until a sub comes in.
Help Zach eat. He's very hungry.
So I'm extremely hungry, but it's not just for me. So here's the thing. When you subscribe to this channel, you get access to our Discord. And on that Discord, you get to join the cool metagame that goes on. Plus, we give away free Steam keys in the Discord all the time just for whatever, because you're a part of the group. You get to hang out with us on the weekends. We play games with you guys. Hairbrained AJ just resubbed for 4 months. Thank you, AJ. Been here with us since the beginning. He wants to hear stuff about the show.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any secret clues, AJ. You're going down, man.
AJ's trying to cheat.
Yep.
It's all right. I'm going to be trying to cheat the whole time, too. So, I
Yeah,
get it.
you're going to be trying to cheat. So if you subscribe, you get access to that. You get access to our VODs before they go up on YouTube. We try to get stuff up on YouTube really quickly, but we are a small team. We're an extremely small team, so we go as
Speaking
fast
of
as we
which,
can.
I was impressed to find that the first episode of Valiant Vanquished is already on YouTube as of yesterday.
Which only happened because yesterday we had a big data dump from our VODs onto YouTube, and Emily powered through them. She just powered through it and was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go for it. So that was Emily. Thank you, Emily, for busting your ass on that. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah, AJ's just doing research. That's all.
Oh, okay. Okay. How long does the next sub have to hold off before Zach starts gnawing his arm off? Not very long. 20 minutes, maybe? 20 minutes before I start eating my own
Something
arm?
like that. Somebody start the clock.
Yeah. And then, okay, so that's Corporate Wars. And then after that is Corporate Sins. Now, Corporate Sins is our Shadowrun role-playing game. And we have an amazing group of players that will be here tonight going on a run, I believe, maybe. We've been learning a little bit about Cromwell recently. But something that's really exciting is people have been asking us for better ways to show how much edge and stuff like that is going on. So we've been working with PillowZack in the chat room, and we have a new system to roll out tonight to show you guys and keep track of edge in real time on the screen. And big shout out to PillowZack. The dude's a fucking wizard. Like, Vorak 1024 number 7.
Computer welcomes a new thumper for science.
Okay, thank you for subscribing, Vorak, but guess what? I'm not counting it. I count your sub, and I sincerely appreciate you, Vorak, and
Thank
all that
you.
you do for this channel, but that's not a new sub. That's not a new sub.
Just another
That's
sub.
just another sub. That's basically you donating $5 and saying, eat, you idiot. That is exactly what you just did. You said, eat, you idiot, just eat. No.
Emphasis on
A
the
new
you
sub.
idiot because it's not working.
Yeah, a new sub. We need a new sub.
Hello. Friend Computer welcomes a new thumper for science.
Joe, is that test that you just did telling me that it's not working anymore? Because that would really upset me. We worked I was here late last night and we worked this morning on trying to get the notifications to work again. Please don't tell me you just ran a test because it wasn't working. Oh man, that would
Maybe he's just trying to get you to eat.
No. That Joe doesn't give a shit.
That doesn't
Joe's
sound
like, I'm sitting here working the board, I'm not eating. You don't get to fucking eat.
Joe doesn't get sandwiches. Mm-hmm. All right, so Corporate Sins is tonight.
Yes, Corporate Sins is tonight at 6 p.m. You guys should definitely tune in for that. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be rolling out a new system to show live tracking of Edge. But PillowZack, props to you, man. So much of what you guys see, like the website. It's really weird to say PillowZack, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we're communicating with a guy who made a troll account just to fuck with me.
And now that's his identity.
It's his
For our
fucking
intents
identity.
and purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, PillowZack, the person who exists only to troll me, has ended up being one of the most valuable members of our community. He has made the Stray Logic site that tracks like all the stuff.
Hey, Rabbit Power, go!
Eat you idiot, #RenRaku.
No, not until we get a new subscriber. That is the rule that I placed upon myself. That is the rule I'm going to stick to. I'm not a liar, and I'm not going to let you guys make me out to be a liar. I don't eat half the time anyway. It's fine. We need new subs more than I need to eat. One of the reasons people should be subscribing, well, there's a lot. There's a lot of reasons you should subscribe. For one, we work so hard to bring amazing content to this channel, but we are very close to 950. And by very close, I mean we're like 21 away from 950 subs. At 950 subs, we do a giant we're probably 20 away now, maybe. We do a giant Shadowrun giveaway.
Yeah.
Where we're giving away like a starter kit. We're giving away the books.
Lots of goodies.
Lots of goodies, and we'll ship it anywhere around the world. We'll do a subscriber-only giveaway. Now, when we get to 1,000 subscribers,
Oh, that's a big one.
I have to ride a tandem electronic bicycle with Claudia because she said that live on the air and made it to where I was unable to back out of that statement. And we will get 5 new emotes that will help let the community vote on which 5 new emotes that we're going to have. And we'll do a big giant giveaway.
You left for 1 week.
In GNG
Friend
go.
Computer welcomes a new thumper.
Boom! I get to eat!
You do.
You're doing the rest of the show.
I'm in charge now. Yeah, you were gone for 1 week, and Claudia just decided that we had a new prize for 1,000 subscribers, and I'm comfortable with that.
Cool. Oh, you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I am.
I'm so glad you're comfortable with it.
Next time you leave and she's on the show, I'm gonna tell her that she can do that as much as she wants.
Cool.
So we're never gonna lose Zach again.
You know how many times you're gonna have to roll?
Uh-oh. What have I done to myself?
The more you like dig a hole, the stupider your character gets.
Can it get any worse?
Speaking of that, oh man, so sorry. It's your show. I got it. This
Yeah.
is too good.
So let's talk about
Jimmy
Valiant
John's, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but we eat lots of their sandwiches. Let's talk about Valiant Vanquished. The show that aired Monday night will be every Monday night now at 6 o'clock.
Below. Friend Computer welcomes a new thumper.
Is that
Science.
is that 4?
That's 3.
It's 3. So we are 2 subs away from giving away a Steam key to anybody in the chat. Just 2 subs away, and we've got an hour and a half left. Looking good. You should fast for subs more. This seems to be working. So, Valiant Vanquished premiered.
Also, we've got Super Fight Digital Steam codes, and it's not even out yet.
Ooh, we've got Steam keys to Super Fight, which is not out yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't play it. 2 more subscribers will be giving away Steam keys to Super Fight Digital.
Super Fight Digital is not out. We have 15 keys to give away. Holy shit.
Yeah, you could be like that special guy that plays stuff before other people. Which, I don't get to be that much, but he does, and it's really cool.
Well,
He does from time to time. He can't, this is a very good sub, clearly. So, two more subs, you get Steam keys. Valiant Vanquished. Let's get back to the recap.
back up.
Oh, we should get them positions on the ship. All right, how many positions do we need? We need 2 positions. Okay. So the first one will be senior assistant to the assistant to the first mate in charge of navigation right here on the Jimbo. And the second one will be rear admiral of sanitation. Welcome. This is good. This is good. I like this. It's just like it's me and Zach's just eating next to me. All right. So now we can, for like what, the 4th time, get back to the Valiant Vanquished recap. How much do we want to recap as far as what they missed and what they need to go find out? We'll figure that out as we go, I guess. Mostly this first episode was introductions. You met all 5 of us. We met, should I just go through them one by one? We got Detective Cross, Thomas Cross, or as I call him, Thomas Detective Cross, who is an out-of-work cop who feels this pull to go to Boise. And when he passes out or something, a giant ghost comes out of him and laughs, mostly at violence. We've got Liv, who lives under an underpass, is a little bit crazy, and can create portals that also create violence for Detective Cross's ghost to laugh at. We got my character, Alara, who is a formerly slave Visigoth who was captured and does not know this world very well. And that causes problems because he doesn't really know anything.
Did we tell anyone you were a Visigoth yet? Was it on the character sheet?
It was on the character sheet.
Well, we did
But
release the
Visigoth
character
isn't,
sheet.
it's not even really a Visigoth. He's just a guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the lineage. It was passed down, but you're almost more like a Loam
Yeah, like I'm as much a Visigoth as anybody with Visigoth blood
Yeah.
in them today is.
Yeah.
Not many people identify as.
So, we did release the character sheets. Now, when I released those character sheets, I was kind of like, shit, we didn't get to all this stuff.
No, we didn't. There's some backstory on there that we haven't fully fleshed out yet.
Actually, Lizzie, I never once said in narration that he was a Visigoth. We mentioned in narration that you came from a slave ship on Loam.
Yeah, I think Loam was the name that we
Loam
dropped.
was the mention that we had there. Jackie Dash says, "What's a Visigoth?" Well, that's maybe what this recap should be a little bit.
That's a good question.
Let's explain a little some of the stuff that we do know on the show.
Let's talk about the Valiant universe and how it
'Cause-
can lead us to where we are.
Yeah. So, what we do know now, because of the character sheets that were released, is that you were a Visigoth
Yes.
and you were on a slave ship on Loam. Do you want to give everyone the backstory and how that happened and why?
So basically, about 1600 years ago, some aliens came to Earth and captured a bunch of Visigoths. They also left some of their own babies behind, because that's what you do if you're an alien. You land on Earth, you leave babies, apparently. So they took these Visigoths back to their home planet, which is called Loam, and they basically turned them into a slave race, where these people lived and worked and died for about 1600 years. Hey, Hyper Rabbit Power, go! Remember, you can tip as low as $5 and tell us stuff like this.
Just wanna say hi and good job on the Valiant show #setter-crub.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bacon.
So, slave race lives on Loam for about 1600 years, born of the Visigoths of Earth. And then our big hero, Exo Manowar, from the book Exo Manowar, which you can pick up from Valiant Comics, saw that, was not happy with it, killed a lot of aliens, and brought them back to Earth, where they initially settled in Romania.
Yeah.
And then the US government was like, how about instead we give you asylum in Nebraska? And then they find themselves in Nebraska, and then one day...
We'll get there. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. They don't know. I know. You don't know.
I
some
don't
stuff.
even know. I'm just like...
Yeah, Galactic
there
Sean,
once.
thank you for the resubscribe. So, yeah, there's a lot that. What else do we know? We know that Miss Eve's bare knuckle fights against dudes in basements outside of the Miracle Mile in Los Angeles. We know that.
Yes, she's a wealthy woman who
We
joins a
know
fight
that she
club.
has a dog that she carries everywhere with her.
Yes.
We know that.
We know of the librarian.
We know of the. Well, yeah, I guess we did. Thank you, JD Skinna, for following. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for your follow. Quick reminder, guys, we're getting really, really close to 9,000 followers.
Ooh.
I made a comment live on the air, but without thinking the other night, that when we get to 9,000 followers, we will do a Dragon Ball Z themed day, like a full event around Dragon Ball Z.
I think
When we get to
need
9,000.
to over 9,000 to
Okay,
do that,
when we get
don't
to
It needs to be
9,001, we need to get to
for it
9,001
be over
followers.
9,000.
Then we will do that.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
So yes, we have Alara and we've got. Oh yeah, Jackie Dash is gonna freak out.
Yeah.
And she just said anime.
Maybe
Hit
hey,
that follow button.
we could talk about the Dragon Ball Z manga right here on
Yeah,
Comic
right.
Book Day.
So we learned about PRS, and because Tara's not watching, we can say this. Tara mispronounced PRS the first time she said it, so we're playing a long troll on her, and I will continue to tell her a different name for PRS every single time she
She
brings it
said
up.
Star the first
She
time?
said Project Rising Star, and then I told her to correct herself and that it was Project Rising Sun. And I made a list in my notebook of about 30 other words that start with S that I'm going to keep going with until I finally tell her it's Project Rising Spirit, or until she's confronted with someone who is a member of Project Rising Spirit and
they're gonna
says
be
that.
very confused.
And then be like, what?
It's going to be good.
Just because, I don't know, it's long troll. It'll be fun. Welcome, new viewers and followers. Yes, welcome to Hyper RPG. Bazooka Joe is now... Okay, Joe. He really wants that Dragon Ball Z day. So we learned a little bit about PRS. Now, there was the name Black Block mentioned.
Yes.
We did actually say Black Block.
It's a black block.
Which I wasn't planning on doing. So, just so you guys know, being the first episode, there were things that we set up. Obviously, I was a little wooden at the beginning and nervous, and that will get better, I promise you. But that was also
You
because...
did great for your first time
Oh,
jamming,
thanks,
by
man.
the way.
I appreciate
that. Was
that.
awesome.
I was pretty nervous when we started, and that was mainly because we kind of needed to follow a little bit of a script to introduce the characters, and I did not have time to memorize stuff, so I was having to read it off the computer and what I wrote down, and that was not a good place to be in because I work much better off the cuff. But I didn't want to say something wrong because a lot of those things come back way later that we mentioned in the first 30 minutes of the show. But the second you guys got to the compound and got to that fence, that's as far as I had planned. So everything else that you guys found and everything is, some of that stuff was like, ooh, cool, this is going to be really great later down the line. Other stuff I'm like, fuck.
We'll figure this out later.
Shit. So, we've got a couple NPCs that are going to show up in the next episode that were won by the chat room. As Technology SR is a friend computer. Thank you, As Technology Senior or SR Shadowrun. Thank you for the follow. Now we've just got people making a bunch of alternate accounts and following because they want to
DBZ
see
Day?
DBZ.
Half of them are going to be Claudia,
half of them are going to be Claudia,
and
Yep.
the other half are going to be Joe.
Yep. Okay, great. It was we wanted to try something different. So we have a really long actual plan. Well, I do, you don't.
No.
I have a really long actual plan on why these guys are all together because I always find it really stupid in movies, TV shows, and or role-playing groups where it's just like all of a sudden a group of people are together.
Yeah.
Bazooka Zach, thank you for following. Thank you for following. And we've got a long play on that. I've got all sorts of exciting stuff planned for you guys and Petunia. I can't wait to show you guys what I have planned for Petunia.
Man.
That dog. Hat Trick 360 just resub
Thank
for
you.
4 months. Thank you so much. And I know that I'm going to be continually trying to experiment with new ways to GM the show because it is different. I am a lead narrator on the show. So sometimes it'll feel like I'm talking to the audience and not the players, like you would the yellow text in a comic book. Like you're getting to have fun with that kind of old school comic book way of like, this is where you are and this is what you know. I think that's fun, but I like reading comic books a lot, so it's exciting.
But it's also a comic book universe. You got to lean into the world that is
Jacob
built
Man,
for
thank you for resubscribing. Very much appreciated.
So I think
Shave Petunia. Hashtag Shave Petunia.
Hashtag shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. We're gonna have
Rosalind would
save-
kick the shit out of me if
Look
I...
at that. Hashtag Eat Petunia. We're going to have a Save Petunia and Eat Petunia. Like, hashtag
my
war now.
God.
Oh.
I really hope your character doesn't end up eating Petunia because I don't want to know. Like, I want you guys as a group to survive for a long time, but if Eves actually kills you, I can't like GM against that. Like, I'd have to use so many plot points to keep her from destroying you.
Do you know that originally, this is going to seem like a non sequitur, but it's not. Originally, in the Dark Phoenix saga, Jean wasn't supposed to die. But when Jean destroyed a planet, which destroyed a sun, which then destroyed a planet, which caused billions of people to die, and John Byrne drew that in excruciating detail, Jim Shooter was like, okay, Jean has to die, and she can't come back, because that was too much. Jim Shooter had this rule.
Darkside085, thank you for following. Very much appreciated.
I think if I ate Petunia, that would be that for me. That would be an Alma villain. Alara would just be, there's no way of getting the audience back on your side when you eat that dog.
Man, I hope that dog doesn't get eaten by your rogue arm.
Lose any
Bazooka
chance of having
Kaiju is
any
now
ally.
following. We're well on our way to 9,001 followers. Okay.
Yep.
10,000 followers in a Super Saiyan Overlord costume. You know what? If we hit 10,000 followers by the time we go on our tandem bike ride, I'll do that. I'll wear a Super Saiyan costume while we're on a tandem bike. I've already lost my dignity. I'm on a tandem bicycle with Claudia. What the fuck else is a costume gonna matter?
Just lean into it.
So, guys, I'm really excited for that show to continue. As far as a recap of the overall episode goes, we met our players. We met the team. They broke into a strange facility that they think was being run by PRS.
Yes.
But for some reason, when they got to the bottom of that facility, now we did hear that it was a hospital, according to Erida. So
Erida knew it was a Psyot hospital.
it
And
was
that's
a
basically
Psyop
all we know
hospital.
about
That's
the
all we know
facility.
about the facility right now. But underneath it, we did find out that Black Block had a computer that had a porn trap on it. So, given that Black Block was mentioned, should we tell them who the Black Block are? I mean, it's been mentioned. They could have Googled it.
Yeah,
I think
I
we can
guess
tell
so.
them.
I mean, I guess we could. There's. Hey, Hyper Rabbit Power, go! Thank you, Celadir.
Hashtag Neonet approves of Valiant Vanquished.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for that, Cylinder. Black Bloc are a part of the sect, or they were a part of the sect. You want to take it from here, actually?
Yeah. The sect, I think the sect is hilarious because I love the whole premise of it. You all know about your basic Illuminati-style organization, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, lizard people, whatever you want to call them, a small group of people that are very powerful and control the events of their society. Now, different small groups like the Freemasons and the Vine and PRS formed at different parts of history, and as globalization occurred throughout history, the sect formed. And so there's all of these different small societies that form this giant small society, like wealthy people in America that are the 1%, a religious cult, the Black Bloc who have black blocks for heads and emoticons for faces. That's their costume.
That is what they look like. I can't wait.
Because a small society like that can't work if it's not small, they eventually collapse into civil war in the Archer and Armstrong Third Trade Sect Civil War, which is fantastic, by the way. And that is where we meet the Black Bloc, who are kind of the instigators of the Civil War, because they hope that they can profit off of the chaos. It doesn't go well for anybody.
Nope. It doesn't go well for anybody, and the Black Bloc, the last we know, were kind of disbanded.
Most of the sect
and we haven't heard from them in a couple of years in the Valiant universe. And with so many big things going on, it is kind of strange that we haven't heard from them. And I think this show is going to touch on a lot of stuff that hasn't been like. We know about all the big shit going on in the Valiant universe right now with Toyo Harada and all that other stuff.
Right.
Big shit's been going down. We haven't heard from the little guys in a while, and I think this show is going to work as a way to figure out what those little guys are up to. Now, I'm really excited because I just got off the phone with Valiant right before the show started. Bazooka Overlord is now following. Okay.
We're getting there.
Joe thinks that's funny. Oh, and yes, somebody noticed in the chat room that we did get our notifications to start working again. It's a backwards way of doing it. Bazooka Troll is now following. They really want those 9,000 followers. So, yeah. So is this canon and then the actual continuity? Now, no, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, the rules in comics will always be the same for any adaptation. Until it's in a comic book and that comic book itself lives in continuity, it's not canon.
Here's the long-term goal of the Overlord, and that's me. And I just talked. I'm not gonna do that.
Here's our long-term goal.
Here's our long-term goal. We would love to make this show so successful that Valiant is forced to put some of these characters in their comic book world. That is the long-term goal. That they are just like, holy shit, people love this. People think this is great. So we worked really hard when coming up with these characters and coming up with this world that they're a part of to think, what characters are currently not in the Valiant universe?
Yeah, and that's part of why I've been reading Valiant so hard lately, is that we really wanted to make sure that while it's not canon, it could be at any point, that we're not going to break canon.
We're not going to break canon.
story.
This exists within the Valiant universe, and we're working extremely hard not to break that world. Now, that being said, eventually you guys are going to be powerful enough to break that world, and I'll be fucked. And I won't know how to keep you within that world.
There might be a point at which we run into some problems there. And of course, if we do interact with any Valiant Comics characters, which might be happening, of course, that doesn't mean if you pick up that book that month, then that guy will remember what happened on our show, because we're not telling Robert Venditti, like, hey, here's what we're planning next week, make sure you write it into your comic book.
Exactly.
That's not quite happening.
Yes, there is a Valiant Vanquish fan art thing, and okay, so we currently have a fan art contest going on for the show that happened Monday, and it will be going for 2 weeks instead of one. I said one, and then Emily and I talked about it, and we want to make sure that people have time and don't feel like we're saying, no, just do it. So you've got 2 weeks. It'll be by the beginning of the third episode, we will announce the winner of the fan art contest. But I did have a phone call with Valiant before the show started, and it made me a little nervous. But they're like, the CEO of Valiant and one of their media coordinators, Josh, who's an amazing dude, he's really cool. They watched it live and they absolutely loved it. So they were like, what do you guys need? How can we help? So Valiant's going to help us promote the show and put the word out, and that's really awesome. They're sending us a Bazooka Kirby. Thank you for following. They sent us a package of 2 #1 trades of every single book they've launched. So we'll have a lot of stuff to give away, and they said they would cover the shipping for the people we give away to, which is amazing. So that Valiant, fucking awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'm glad they like the show, and I'm excited for them to start telling their fans about it, and hopefully we get some new people up in here checking out our channel, because I think Valiant's about to hit it big in a really big way because of all the stuff they have going on in the media. So I'm excited for us to be...
They've got some stuff cooking. It's going to be good.
So they sent us a bunch of stuff that we can put on the table, giveaway stuff. They want to help get you guys interested in a part of the universe and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
We'll have a shit ton of stuff to give away, and we'll probably set like giveaway goals, not just for NPCs, but for physical giveaways. It'll be awesome on every show. So
Speaking of which, you guys raised $1,000 on Monday. So thank you for that, because that's fucking sweet.
awesome.
Like
Those kinds of things help us keep this channel alive.
and like for as the 5 of us playing, like we don't get to see the chat. We don't get to see what's happening. Like
I'm watching the chat.
We're getting those of us playing. We're getting plot points, but we're not keeping track of how much. Like it really floored us all at the end to realize how much you guys got into it. That was really cool. Valiant is the rock of comics.
They are, part of the reason we really like Valiant is because they are a new company and they are trying new things. They're not trying to go the route that some of it's still superhero comics.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah,
it's not like
a
Image.
superhero
It's
universe
not like
just like Marvel and DC.
Yeah, it's not like Image where it's kind of like here's a bunch of individual things and independent stories. It's a cohesive superhero universe, but doing it in a really modern and cool way with modern characters, modern storylines, and they don't have hundreds of years or 50 years of backstory that they have to fill in. They get to create modern stories.
They're really tightly edited, and part of that is that they have about 10 books at one point in time, whereas Marvel and DC have about 50 at any point in time. So realistically, they can't make it all matter or keep it all reined in, and it's just a lot easier to handle it with Valiant, and so really spectacular stories come out of that.
So, thank you guys so much for tuning in on Monday. We really appreciate it. And every Wednesday, we will be here at the beginning of this show talking about what went down, how things went. Did you have a favorite moment from the night? Like, what was your favorite moment?
Slap and live with my little baby arm.
Slapping
That
the little...
was, when you said I had the arm and she was going crazy, like I was like, this is the best idea I've ever had.
Not
I'm
only
gonna slap
slapping
her
with your
this
baby
tiny
arm, you have a little baby arm.
Oh yeah,
and
that was
a
an
person-
unexpected perk, is that I went through some vomit with
When you swing your
across his
arm,
face.
you're also sloshing vomit off of his face all over her. So, yeah, that was a pretty great moment. There's a lot we still don't know about AJ's character, too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see AJ's character develop.
Yeah, because I don't even know if when he came out of it, he was aware of what happened. I don't think he knows that there was a giant blue figure out of the... Like, you guys didn't tell him.
I don't know.
Nobody told him.
But basically, the moment
And if you did,
gained
he didn't
consciousness,
realize
I lost mine.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you guys kind of traded spots there, but
Zach, is there a guest on Honesty Hour tonight?
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Emily to do it with me.
That could be fun.
I think Emily and I need to update the community on some stuff, so... Oh, guys, it's fun. Do not kill
Do
AJ.
not kill AJ.
It's
Already worried about it.
extremely hard to kill someone in this universe, and that was very intentional. It's in the rule book. They don't want you to be able to just kill people. It's a comic book world. People always resurrect in comics. They get knocked out. They can heal in between turns. It's really hard to kill someone. It's not impossible, but it's really hard. Bazooka Snugglelord is now following. Great.
So yeah, death is possible, but it's a comic book show.
Yes, it's a comic book show.
Comic book rules apply.
Comic book rules apply. Yeah. And plot points kind of keep that from happening. I think plot points are really exciting. It's a cool way to tell a story with a group of players where it's like, shit, I'm trapped in a corner. Wait, plot point. You know, like you're not stuck to stats. You're not just looking at your stat and going, shit, I couldn't do this.
Right.
You get to comic book it. You get to be Peter Parker lifting the fucking tunnel off of his shoulders, with the water pouring down.
It's great because like one of the most frustrating things about stat-based gaming is when you know you're capable of something, but the dice just won't let you do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so now we have, we're not ignoring the dice. There's still times where that will happen plenty, and it's gonna get harder. Like, we realized after the show, we didn't actually fight anybody because we used plot points on like everybody we encountered, and that's not going to work all the time. But it's still cool to be able to be like, my character can do this, and then they do. But it doesn't break the game.
No, it doesn't break the game. And I mean, I told you guys after the show, somebody getting, oh my God, you, Alara, and Adair, like, We're probably gonna make a nickname for you in the game because you guys are killing me.
I've actually kind of already thought of a way to develop a nickname. We'll fix it.
If they might just start calling you of Nebraska
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Who knows? Because you sold that pretty well.
Yeah.
But basically, as she was holding off the steam and everything, if you guys wouldn't have gotten her a plot point, they were just about to run into a Psyot PSI
it was
or
gonna be a
PRS
much
soldier.
less successful
Much less
cliffhanger.
successful cliffhanger because as they were rolling down the hill, the PRS Psyot, it was going to reveal who in the group was actually a Psyot and who's not, but now we're waiting for that.
know.
Now we don't know because they bought her a plot point and she was able to make the steam more powerful, and that actually ended the show, and it probably would have went on for another like 30 minutes and been a lot more tragic. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have done it. Like, it was actually really good that you guys did. It made for a really epic moment, and it gave her a chance to be the hero. And that's what's really cool about them. I think it's a cool system.
All right, so more on that story.
Bazooka Joe Mama, thank you for...
More on that story as it develops.
Yes.
Tune in on Mondays at 6 for that. But let's get to the news.
We will
shall
start right in on Monday inside of a Prius with
Yep, in a Prius.
5
with me
characters who
foaming
all...
at the mouth.
who most of which just learned they have superpowers. So that will be interesting. And on the run from a highly, highly advanced military mercenary organization. It's going to be interesting. So,
And if you want just like one book or one trade to read, just to get you a little familiar with what's going on, either Archer Armstrong or Harbinger, just like read a trade, you'll at least get a feel for the universe, and they'll both let you know PRS exists, which is important.
yep, they'll let you know PRS exists or even Unity Volume. I mean, really, there's a lot of Volume 1s that you could pick up and get a pretty good idea of what's going on. So, let's get to the comic book news.
Not a whole lot of news today because we got to do
We're gonna
the...
open some books on comic book day. Zach's on my left, you're on the right. Comic book day.
Thanks, Joe. We don't have a whole lot of time because we have the BattleTech Q&A coming in just over a half an hour, which is exciting.
So really, you wanted to check out this
But,
trailer?
Yeah, the trailer for Injustice 2 dropped this morning.
Which was funny because just yesterday, like, they were complaining that GameStop revealed that poster ahead of
Yeah.
time, and we're like, "You're not invited," kind of thing. Whatever. Why is Zach ignoring us? Look, Bazooka Papaya. There's too many bazookas, basically. I'm over it. And then we've got Claudia Quotes too, and Bazooka
And
Bazooka. I want new viewers, not the same people trolling me every damn day. God damn it! I want new people. You guys are great. I love
Our
you
numbers
guys.
become inflated.
Yeah, this is how our numbers become inflated, and I can't do proper analysis of what's working on this channel. Oh, God.
All right, so Injustice 2.
All right, let's watch this trailer. 2 minutes. Netherrealm. Oh. Oh, so this is Injustice Superman. He's kind of like pissed. I mean,
That's the big question.
are they following the comic book continuity?
We'll see.
Changes you. It makes you stronger.
They could have made this trailer like darker lighting.
I can like kind of see Flash.
More ferocious.
Gotta love superhero logic. I'm now faster than Superman, but Batman can stop my
Batman
punches.
should
Night.
You should have led with Batman.
Yeah.
Watching. Learning.
Apparently Injustice didn't get the whole rebirth now.
Injustice is always been Injustice.
Each time I enter the pit, I emerge reborn. Put the devil on the other side, and I will show up.
Kara.
Evolved.
They all just keep growing electronic devices on top of them. Superman just armored up, guys.
That seems to be the gimmick of this game,
To
is
fight.
this sort of constantly evolving armor. It almost feels a little bit MOBA-ish,
Huh.
you know?
Definitely not Bazooka Joe. Thank you for following. Huh.
So yeah,
Huh.
I think part of the reason why it's really, really dark is that, like, just visually, I don't think that they know they're clearly trying not to give away the premise at all. So they don't want to show the arena really. Like, the darkness just allows there to be nothing behind them to render, so it's easier to make this trailer. I think that's why it's darker more than anything else. Because all we saw was superheroes fighting and their armor evolving, which was kind of neat. But, like, I love the first Injustice because the premise was really neat. This parallel Earth where Superman went crazy after 5 years after Lois, it was killed by the Joker, and then the main DC universe.
Bazooka Prius, thanks. Yeah, great.
The main DC universe has to come and stop this Superman. I've also been reading the prequel comic for the last, I don't know how long it's been now, but the comic is on year 5. It's faster than a year, but the prequel comic has been filling in the missing 5 years between Lois Lane's death and the beginning of the game, and it's almost done, just in time to announce the new one. But basically, there's not really room for that Earth to take place in another Injustice game, because everybody there is dead. I've read 5 years of comics where they just kill everybody in the DCU. So I've been waiting to see what the premise of this game is going to be, and so far all I've got is armor.
I mean, there's just something about Superman ironing up because, you know what, Batman hit me pretty hard. I'm going to throw on the suit.
Yeah, it's weird to see this, like, both Superman and Supergirl, the whole, like, oh my god, yeah, it's DC Comics Armor Wars. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, the game's fun, though. I mean, I really enjoyed the last
one was
game.
so good.
It was so
like,
fun.
I just like watching the YouTube video of all the cinematics of the first one. I thought it was great. So I'll stick around to see what they do next.
Cool. Now, you wanted to talk about this new Marvel Now announcement, right?
Yeah, well, it's just interesting to me that this is happening. I'm not excited about it per se. That basically they're just bringing back Marvel Now, and in this interview, Tom Brevoort basically just says, yeah, we're just going to keep doing this whole relaunch at #1 thing because it gets people to read comics.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So they're doing Marvel Now again, like they did like a year or two ago. They did Marvel Now basically to compete with the New 52. Then they did Secret Wars and the all-new, all-different Marvel Universe. Now we're doing Marvel Now again because #1 sell comics. So they're going to do a midnight release the same day as Civil War 2 #3. Because, you know, if there's anything I'll stay up at midnight to get, it's the 3rd issue of an ongoing series.
What are they doing? Okay, so the original Marvel Now, like when this happened, I had my doubts. But luckily, Marvel Now launched with some of the best creators in the business.
Yeah.
Doing some of the most creative superhero books to come out in fucking years.
Started off very strong.
Started off so good. I mean, you had Daredevil, you had Hawkeye, you had Miss Marvel, and eventually that was led up by Spider-Gwen. I mean,
Bendis' X-Men was awesome.
Bendis' X-Men when it started was fucking amazing. Even that little fantastic, the FF run.
Yeah.
Was so good. And Avengers with Hickman I really liked. A lot of people, it wasn't their thing, but New Avengers too. Like that,
that run
fucking
was
lineup
so cool.
was so good. And then the all new, all different Marvel, like, what the fuck?
And that's the thing, these companies, both DC and Marvel do this all the time, where they'll do something really big and really good, and there'll be these crazy numbers, and they act as if that's not a unique event. Like, you can't expect big event numbers every single month. And so I feel like they're trying to force that because #1s always bring in people just pull #1s. I don't mind the idea of like renumbering every time like a new writer is going to do a long run or something. Like the beginning, going from Matt Fraction's Hawkeye to Jeff Lemire's Hawkeye. Renumbering for that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But we can't do it all across all the time because we're just at this point like there are a lot of series where if you pick up the Marvel Now series, it's just, you know, continuing Dan Slott's Spider-Man. You can't jump in there because he's been doing it for a long time. And so making these initiatives, these company-wide initiatives where you're just forcing every writer to start over all the time.
It's
tough.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because the first one, everyone thought was going to be a gimmick and it was really well done. And then the all new, all different fell on so many deaf ears because it following up Secret Wars, which was a great way to kind of end, but now this new one, like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we also, like, we're in the midst of the first big event of the all new, all different Marvel, which, like, is already too soon. and now we're halfway through. We're renumbering in the middle of Civil War II. We're renumbering. So what? I'm gonna pick up this #1 issue and give it to somebody someday, and they're gonna be like, "What's going on?" I'll be like, "Oh, this relaunch happened in the middle of a giant fucking event that encompassed the entire Marvel universe."
Oy.
Good plan.
I am.
Let's talk about comics.
Let's talk about comics. So let's talk about the comics of this week.
Brought to you by Alter Ego Comics here
yes.
in Redmond.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Ego
Alter Ego.
Collectibles.
And Joe, do you mind turning down the in-room speaker? It's extremely loud today. Thank you so much for that. It's like hard to hear you talking. It's pretty loud. Okay. So, guys, these are the comic books that came out today at your comic book store. We're gonna have to go a little quicker than usual because of the BattleTech Q&A that's coming up. But I would, I see quite a few new people in this chat room right now, and I would say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I am Overlord. This is my right. And actually, it's Scott. He's pretty cool. We usually talk much longer on Wednesdays about comic books, but once a month we have the BattleTech Q&A come in for the game devs of BattleTech are here to talk about the game that they're making. So we have to end a little bit early today, but I want to thank all the new viewers for tuning in. Please throw us a follow. Once we get to 9,000, we're doing a giant Dragon Ball Z event. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're only 2 subscribers away from doing a Steam Key giveaway for subs only, and we're giving away the Super Fight Digital game, which is not even out yet. We got a bunch of pre-release keys for that. Okay. So, the #1 most subscribed to book of this week at Alter Ego Comics here in
Darth
Bellevue is Darth Vader. This area really loves their Star Wars. Star Wars is always at the top. Now, that being said, Star Wars is really well written.
Yeah, also, in general, Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader is one of the best-selling comics right now.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. Although, the Star Wars ones follow the trend. Invader Zim and My Little Pony always being at the top, that doesn't follow the trend. That's Redmond loves these comics.
As Redmond, Bellevue, Invader Zim, My Little Pony, only here, folks. Only here are they at the top. What's really exciting to see Rat Queens number 17 so high on this list, and Wicked and Divine number 20. That's a good day of indie comics right there. Now, Rat Queens, definitely go check that out. They're going to be on hiatus for a little while. You need to go check that out. And Wicked and the Divine number 20 hitting today. This series is so good. So, Wicked and the Divine, if you're not reading it, Kieran Gillen is killing it with this book. It's really fucking amazing. This is basically as if pop stars were gods, and these gods know they only have a certain amount of time to live on this planet before they're dead again. And that premise right there should hook you.
That's it.
Like,
It's
that premise should hook you.
the gods live on Earth in the 21st century, and so they are what the 21st century reveres as gods.
Yep. Basically, once again, Deadpool and the Mercs for Money high on this list this week. Deadpool continuing in this area anyway to do extremely well comic book sales wise because of the movie and the Blu-ray release. People are really digging Deadpool right now, and what's unfortunate is this is not even close to the best run of Deadpool that we've had.
No.
Like just a year and a half ago, again with the Marvel Now relaunch, originally Deadpool was legit for like 2 years.
Dugan and Hussein, right?
Yeah, Dugan and Hussein working together was amazing, and they did a really cool Deadpool story. Now I'm kind of like, meh,
This is happening.
it's a thing.
But I mean, it's what's going to happen when you're like, all right, we've had this great idea for Deadpool. Now we're going to mandate 6 books. Like when the book comes before the idea, it's never as strong as the other way around. And that's what happens when you mandate a bunch of books after a really successful movie. Is you have book first, idea second.
Now, Small7315 has a really good point in the chat room. I wish I had enough money to spare to get into comics. Now, you're going to notice there's a lot of people in our chat room that have already brought this up, and I think you should definitely do it. Go to your local library.
Yes.
A lot of libraries have loan programs where they'll actually, if they don't have a comic book you want to read, they'll reach out to another library and have it sent to them, and you'll still be able to read it. Libraries also usually carry trades, which are the best way for you to catch up on comics that you like. Go to your local library. You don't have to buy the books if you're tough on cash, and you can still have a way to read a lot of the books you want to read. Like the public library carries a lot of comic books. I saw some people in one of our like Facebook pages that showed they went to the local library and got the ultimate edition of like Invincible to read.
Yeah.
It looked. Yeah, you can pick that shit up. That's great.
And libraries love when people come in and read books because print media is dying and stuff. So if you go in and you're like, hey, I'm looking for comics, I want to like check these out, your library will probably subscribe to them or order them. Most libraries do. I have a bunch of friends in my town that just like read at the library all the time, so now they kind of know, all right, we need to be getting trades of Saga and stuff like that immediately as it comes out.
Isn't it funny that in America, like, we've gotten to a point where, like, a library feels like a secret kind of society place?
Like, come
I
on,
used to do
guys.
that, like, when I used to live right next to the Kansas City Library, and that's where I got all my Blu-rays and DVDs. And then people were like, "Where'd you find that?" I'd be like, "Fucking library, bro."
Yeah, when I was in high school, I got a lot of music. I would just
Yeah.
go grab like a dozen CDs and be like, let's see what's on
That's
these.
right. Arma 1917 and the Pool Club, which is the pool show. I still check that like every day and see if people are posting stuff. He was posting in there about picking up Invincible. So yes, go to the local library to pick up trades. It's a really great way to catch up. And Comixology just released their Unlimited program, which I'm trying to get in contact with them so we can start giving away subscriptions. I think that'd be really
would be
cool
cool.
because there's a lot of Valiant #1 trades on there.
Yeah, the first trades of
So
like,
we could get
basically
people up
every
to
Valiant
speed.
series. You could read the first 4 or 5 issues on
Totally.
Comixology Unlimited.
Did you check out Flash Rebirth?
I did check out Flash Rebirth.
Why don't you
I
tell
read,
people about it?
I read almost all the Rebirth issues today. Didn't read Aquaman. So Flash Rebirth, like all the other Rebirths, is sort of the beginning of the new arc now that there's a new status quo as far as people remembering things. This issue, more than any of the other Rebirths, dealt with the DCU Rebirth because, of course, Wally is like the main character of that issue. We see the moment where Wally shows up to Barry here. It's clearly setting up the next arc. We see a new villain. Something strange is going on with Barry and his memories, but it's gonna be some good Flash stuff.
Breaking news, we have DFA pre-purchasables.
Breaking news: we have DFA pre-purchasables.
Oh, DFA pre-purchasables are up in the shop. We'll go over those in a little bit before we close out after we get done talking about the comics.
Right.
All right.
That's
So, I did not get a chance to check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know what? I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about the books I did read. Well, you read all the Rebirth.
Yeah. Wonder Woman Rebirth was awesome. Greg Rucka, I love Greg Rucka. His Wonder Woman run in the early 2000s was fantastic. He is the guy who should always write Renee Montoya. And he's back for Wonder Woman. He's going to be doing a 24-issue run, and like every other issue, the odd numbers are going to be in the present, and the even numbers are going to be a year 1 story. This sets up both. This issue is all about kind of the different origins of Wonder Woman that we've seen throughout the years, and why she's remembering all of them, and she's sort of confused and needs to figure out. So we're gonna see that. I'm not super stoked about seeing another Wonder Woman origin story because
We've seen that a lot.
so many times. But
Did you know
I
Batman's
expect-
parents were killed outside of a theater?
I did. And Wonder Woman's is even less. Like, did you know that she was born on an island? Okay, there you go. And
Were there a bunch of other women on that island?
there were.
That's crazy.
There were. And then somebody came. Anyway, I like the idea of Greg Rucka writing Wonder Woman again. I'm super excited for that series. That was
Now-
probably my favorite book today.
Now,
Maybe.
Claudia, I do respect your opinion when it comes to anime, but I'm going to have to go ahead and throw you under the bus on this one and say I do not respect your opinion when it comes to comic books because a couple months ago, Claudia was on this show and the Fix #1 had just come out, and she said it was bad and that, blah, basically. I had enough people at the comic book store keep saying, have you read The Fix? Have you read The Fix? And then I had people in the chat room being like, dude, read The Fix. I picked up the first 3 issues last night, read all 3, and went, holy shit, this book is fucking amazing. It is so good.
I need to jump in real quick and talk about Wonder Woman real fast.
You got
'cause We
it.
did get a question, should I read it? And the answer that Mrs. Manface said was, wait for the #1 because that's very much place setting. Place setting is what you do in the beginning of a story so that you understand the story forward. If you want to read Wonder Woman, this is a fantastic place to start. And if you want to read this Wonder Woman story, you should start here because this is the first issue and that's where you begin, is at the beginning.
There you go. Back to throwing
The Fix is
shade at
apparently
Claudia.
fucking awesome.
It's so good. It's so good. It is basically like reading a Shane Black comic book. And Nick Spencer does amazing comedic books with great timing, great flow. Astonishing Ant-Man was so good. The Superior Foes of Spider-Man was one of my favorite books from the Marvel Now launch. Have you read that?
No.
It is fucking hilarious. It is so good. It's everything you love about Spider-Man's rogue gallery being bad at being villains. Like, it's just, it's so good.
Those books are fun.
And it is, The Fix is amazing. It is definitely like, it's Lethal Weapon. It's like every great buddy cop movie from the 90s. It's got that Shane Black kind of like flow and pizzazz. And like, I would say like, if you like the movie Nice Guys, if you liked Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, if you like Lethal Weapon, go check out The Fix. It's amazing. Zach, it's cool. I don't like villains. They're definitely not villains. We need to talk about comic books. Claudia, they are definitely not villains. They are down on their luck cops that are trying to do the right thing but doing the right thing poorly. And they're very bad at it. And There was a moment in issue 2 that I was just like, oh man, I fucking love this book. Like, it's great. Okay, it's a good book. You guys should check it out. The Fix is amazing. Nick Spencer is a very, very talented writer. The dude is doing some really good stuff right now. All right, what else we got on this list?
We've got, Detective Comics 934.
Damn.
With Detective Comics and Action Comics now with Rebirth, they've gone back to the original numbering. Because this Detective Comics 934, that's the same numbering as, like, the very beginning back in 1938. So, like, as a collector, I think that's cool. Like, that'll be getting my 1,000 sometime soonish. Detective Comics 934 begins James Tynan's run on Detective Comics. He is putting a team together. There's so many Bat characters. The idea of a team book is, I can't believe it took this long for it to happen.
Wow.
It's cool because it starts out with, like, Batman going to Batwoman and is like, I'm putting a team together, but these people that I've been watching are untrained. And Batwoman's like, hey, fuck you, I was with the Marines. And Batman's like, whoa. I'm bad with people. I need you to train these kids.
Raw Median! Thank
you.
you for following. Hello, welcome
not
to
a
the
bazooka.
channel. It's not a bazooka. Thank you for that, for breaking the chain. Very much appreciated.
So Batman and Batwoman band together to train Spoiler, Red Robin, Cassandra Cain, and now Basil Karlo Clayface to form a new team against this mysterious threat that is introduced in this issue.
Clayface, huh?
Clayface. There are, at last I counted, 10 different Clayfaces. 10. Basil Karlo is either the original one or the second one. It's the most prolific run. And he's the one who was an actor, and that's sort of why the Clayface works for him. But he's come close to redemption a lot, and there's so many other villains called Clayface. I'm down for this one to kind of turn into a good guy. It looks like that's where we're going with this. But yeah, there's this scene where he's watching he's in a theater watching an old movie that he was in when he was young and human and attractive. And he just sort of tells Batman, like, it's only 84 minutes long. Can you just let me watch this before you take me back to Arkham? And Batman's like, nah, I see the good in you. Now we're going to be team. And,
Nah, you don't have to go back to Arkham.
If you could shapeshift...
Time is up, son.
If you could shapeshift into a 12-year-old, then you'd be a lot easier for me to kill, though, but that'd be nice.
Oh my god. Did he really say 12-year-old?
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say
Okay.
any of that. I just like the idea of Batman wanting children to kill because that's what Batman is best at.
Oh, wow. So...
You gotta embrace the good Dead Robin jokes if you're gonna be
There's
a
a
Bat
lot of
fan.
other books coming out this week. that I-
Grizzly Shark.
Okay, you checked out
What?
Grizzly Shark vs. Sea Bear.
I don't know exactly what happened to me. I actually read Grizzly Shark number 2. Apparently number 3 came out today. We got
They
number
were out.
2
Okay,
'cause
it's just
it's
like
popular.
Tokyo. Oh yeah, there's a couple books that were so popular, and they're the pool. I just had to pick up what was the last issue.
Yeah, Alter Ego couldn't give us like any of the Rebirth titles. I read them before I came down here because everybody's pulling them. But Grizzly Shark is by Ryan Otley, who draws Invincible, which is one of my very favorite books of all time. It's so good. So I was like, oh, here's a book that Ryan Otley writes. I'll check it out. And it's just like these people that get eaten by a shark for several pages, and I only read the second issue, so there seems to be a team following around this grizzly shark.
Yeah.
And the grizzly shark is just eating people all over the place, and it's really violent, and it's very silly and fun. Basically, if you like the Mega Shark movies, then you'll probably like this book.
It looks interesting. I picked it up off the shelf. 'Cause,
Sharknado
like,
book
somebody's
movies,
got to
that's what
read
it
this and talk about it.
Yeah.
We
It's
also-
Sharknado in a comic book.
Wolf number 8 came out today. Injection number 10. Both those books are really amazing and worth checking out. Divinity 2 number 1. The reprint came out today. Now
Yeah, I didn't check this out. Lumberjades at Gotham Academy have a crossover that starts
that's
today.
true. They didn't have that in the
which
store, and that really bummed me out. I wanted to read
I don't
that.
read Lumberjanes, so I didn't pick this up. And I know I should read Lumberjanes, but it's everybody who's read it loves it.
Yeah,
Now,
it's pretty great.
this I was thinking of checking it out because usually I like Christos Gage, but I'm not super stoked about Civil War tie-ins.
So-
Did you check it out?
I did. I read Civil War 2, Amazing Spider-Man number 1. I was excited because Christos Gage is writing Spider-Man again. And when he used to do the Team Up Spider-Man books back when Marvel Now kicked off, they were really fun, and I really enjoyed them. So I was like, oh, finally, Slott's not writing. I'm on it. Let's check this out. And it's tough because Peter Parker's in such a weird position now as the head of Parker Industries in the Baxter Building as this giant billionaire dude. I feel like Gage doesn't know what the fuck to do with him or how to tell that story. It's really unfortunate. So Ulysses, the ultimate, the Inhuman, who has the power to see things in the future.
He's gonna get around a lot this month.
Yeah, he's going to get around. And basically, they actually say that exactly in the book. They're like, you mentioned, so like Johnny Storm shows up at the old Baxter Building to talk to Spider-Man, who now even Johnny Storm doesn't know it's Peter, which... Oh, no, he does know it's Peter. He's the only one. He's like one of the only people in the universe that knows Peter is Spider-Man. And basically says that this is your night with Ulysses. Like, it's just like flat out saying, like, we're basically going to take this character and put him in every single book somehow.
Yeah.
And I know you wanted to see if he was really up to snuff. And then they go out, and of course he sees that something that's about to happen, and Spider-Man stops it. And then, in the weirdest fucking way, in the most non-Peter Parker way, he takes him back to Parker Industries, and he's like, now this is all great and all, but what would be really great is if you could help me develop more technology, because we put so many resources towards building stuff that won't get made and fails on the market. If you could help us know what stuff is going to survive, we could save a lot of resources, which ultimately in the long run would save more lives. But it still kind of felt like that very, like, this isn't a fucking Spider-Man, like, conversation or thing to do. It all still wraps into that, like, weird place that Slott has Spider-Man in right now. Then I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this character is. Like, as I'm reading, I'm like, I don't even think Gage knows. Like, who is this guy? The tone is weird. It doesn't feel like it's ever Peter underneath that suit talking to people. Mm-hmm. It's really strange.
So, I know that having powers is difficult and scary, but with great power comes great responsibility, and that responsibility is to help me be rich, so I can beat Tony Stark at our pissing contest.
2:15. Yes, the Q&A is going to be starting soon, guys, in just a little bit. And, okay, so coming up here, we've got Birthright number 16, also came out today. Birthright's one of my favorite books on the shelf. Joshua Williamson is one of my favorite writers. Nailbiter, Birthright, two of my favorite books on the stands. Birthright, still kicking ass. I love this book so much. It takes fantasy in a whole new direction. I really love it. It's really great. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to go through here, see if there's any other books.
Oh, you didn't check out Gods of War? You don't want to know what Hercules has to think about the Civil War?
Not really.
Yeah, no, me either.
I didn't check. I have very limited time now to check stuff out. I do want to check out 1%. I didn't have it in the store. I really liked Renato Jones' 1% number 1, so I will be picking up number 2. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to check that one out. Let's see. What else do we got here?
4001 AD, The Bloodshot.
I did. Yes, I enjoyed that. And, okay, so this came out today. Again, they didn't have it in the store. I'm trying to work on Alter Ego to get more Valiant books in their store. So basically, the 4001 thing is their big summer event here at Valiant, and they are doing all sorts of really cool stuff with it. And they it's kind of a cool way to say in the future this would happen to this kind of character. So it does kind of have that what if property to it. So you're not super attached to the characters because you're like, oh, well, the world we're in is still 2016.
But at the same time, it also has that, like, it comes from the world you know.
Yep.
Whereas rather than just being like, oh, random.
Yep.
But
the art in all the books has been really great, and it's been really fun to read. So
Green Lantern Corps Edge of Oblivion ended today.
Okay.
On the top right.
There we go.
So this was Tom Taylor. The Green Lantern Corps have just been missing when they did the DCU about a year ago. And so there have been 2 miniseries where they've been, like, trapped basically at the end of the time of the universe before ours, so in the past, but it's still like the end of the universe. I thought this issue was going to explain how they got there and how they're going to leave, but it does not. It wraps up the story that happens while they're there, so if you want to see the whole story, the conclusion of the story in the past, this is that. If you were just looking for the quick answer of where did they go and how did they come back, that will probably be in a main continuity, probably in Venditti's next Green Lantern book.
Cool. There's a lot of other books that came out today, and like I said, unfortunately, we're going to be cut short today. We got to get ready.
Crime Ransom Maurice mentioned Action Comics, which also went back to its old renumbering and had tons of awesome Superman, and it's very Dan Jurgens-y.
So we're about to go over the DFA pre-purchasables, and Battletech's group is going to come in and do some Q&A for you guys. I do want to say Ninjak number 16 also came out today. Really fucking great. If you're not reading Ninjak, it's only in 16 issues in. The first 2 trades are out. It's really fun. It is spy thriller at its best. Matt Kent is writing an amazing little story. One of my favorite things about the book is every single issue starts with little pieces of his armor and secret spy tech that it's got in it.
Ninjak is basically a douchey ninja version of James Bond.
Yes.
He's awesome.
He's not very douchey in this. In this book, it's pretty interesting.
Interesting.
It's pretty interesting. You find out why he's so, in a very James Bond way, you find out why he's so guarded. But he goes through, like...
Down for that.
It reminds me a lot of Matt Fraction's run on Iron Fist. In ways. Like the trials that he's having to go through and the and you know, he starts off as a wealthy dude and then has to go through all these trials and tribulations.
Another good thing, if you're curious about Danny Rand, check out Matt Fraction's Iron Fist.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so really quick, let's go over the DFA pre-purchasables before we get the Battletech group in here.
What we got today?
What do we got in here today? This looks like it's gonna be hard to read. Come on, load up. Trip to Vikings Garage. Oh. Let's see, what do we got here? This is extremely difficult to read. One sec, guys. One mech of choice will be given an intimate evening with Viking Lass, repatched, smoothed, and given a fresh paint job of your choosing. Overhaul for the Griffin. Overhaul for the Dragon. Overhaul for the Catapult. Overhaul for the Firestarter. Right. And Lord Commander's Intel. Intel falls on the battlefield, the team picks it up, and then must find hits team. Actually, guys, I'm going to stop right there reading these because I already see there's some errors on here that we're going to have to go over. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go work with the team, and then we'll come back and talk about these on Watching Paint Dry. Because I see there's a couple errors here that I need to go over before we really get into them. So actually, we're just going to stop there, and we're going to get into the Battletech
Let's do
Q&A.
it.
Because I read a couple things, I'm like, oh, there's a couple things that are on there. So, guys, coming up next, we're going to do a really, really quick switch over, and we're going to get the Battletech guys in here and get all our comic books out of here. Stick around for that. Wrong sheet. Yeah, they gave me the wrong sheet. I was going to say, that's all late. That's like the wrong thing. That's the wrong shop. Yep. So I was given the wrong one. That's why I was like, this isn't right. None of this is right. So we'll go over it later. Guys, let's do the switch out and get those guys in here.